Good night, everybody, and here's another episode. And welcome to another episode of the Northway Basketball Podcast. I am your host, Kaon Mears, head scout at the Northway, and there's a lot that's happened in Canadian basketball as of late. The first thing we're going to do is talk about the FIBA U19 team that Canada put together. There's a lot of positives we saw from that team, and just things could have went either way in that America game, and ultimately that's what led to us not making it to the finals. But I think it was a great showing for us, and it showed a lot about who we are as a program, and helped a talent evaluators really evaluate guys, because sometimes it's hard to evaluate because the best competition is often in America and sometimes in international play. So without further ado, we're gonna get into the episode. As far as the FIBA U19 goes, we've been really impressed with the performance of Jordan Charles. He's definitely a top 2 point guard in the country and the class of 2026. And just to see what he did, his body of work in that tournament, it was impressive. Team Canada, they sailed past some of the teams, but they had a tougher game against Slovenia to start, where they were down almost 20, I believe, and they rallied back, led by Jordan Charles off the bench, who led them in a comeback and ultimately helped them win the game. Slovenia took away their athleticism, which didn't allow them to get out in transition and take advantage of their size and length. We didn't allow Team Canada to do that, so the game turned into a half court game and a game of creation. And Jordan Charles was the head of the snake, shooting the ball well, shooting it off the dribble well, getting to the rim, finding guys, and it was really impressive, man. And just seeing Efeosa, who's been long time regarded as a NBA prospect, start to turn the corner, because he's always been more athletic and bigger. So just to see him get a lot of paint touches, shoot the ball with more confidence, and see the improvement in his overall game is also encouraging. Um, he's a freak athlete, man. Just seeing him go in the paint and finish off of either leg, like he dunk well off his right or off his left, or finish through contact, go through contact, get downhill, and eventually they allowed him to play a lot of point, which allowed him to take a advantage of his athleticism, his size, and allow him to get a lot of paint touches and play make it. And I think it was a good showing for him. We're interested to see what he does at Butler and what he's going to bring to that program next year. Butler's a very good program, as you know, and it's a great opportunity for Afosa to really put his name on the map. We were also impressed with Spencer Ahrens, man. Low maintenance guy, reminds us a lot of Ryan Anderson, but he has a little more to his game as far as like being able to play, make, push in transition, break guys down off the dribble, attack closeouts. He's shooting the ball really well, and from what I've heard, they're gonna run the offense through him at Boise State, so he's gonna have a big year ahead of him, where he has a chance to um, put scouts on notice, and I mean pro scouts, and show exactly what he's made of. Um, I think he's definitely going to be a pro prospect and someone that teams should pay attention to, as well as Fosa and Jordan, Charles. I also think Tristan Beckford took a lot of another step in his development as far as the shooting, especially. There's no hitch in his shot. He's shooting it with extreme confidence. He's now hitting it on the move. He's hitting it off of, spacing up uh, into the slot, spacing to the corner, curling to the middle for threes. Like he didn't have that in this game at Fort Erie. He was mostly a corner three guy, and he took the hitch out of his shot. Another thing he's always done well is get to the basket and transition and cut well. But he's learning to break guys down now as well. So I saw there was a play where he went, drove, did a fake spin, uh, drop dribble, fake spin, fadeaway mid range, and I was like, whoa, he didn't have that before, and he hit it and he shot it with confidence. So his footwork's also improved. So I'm interested to see his development at USF. He reminds me a lot of Terrence Ross. like a guy who can shoot the ball. He's growing as a defender. A guy who could put the ball on the floor, learning to grow in that department as well as with his handle. I think he has a great opportunity ahead of him, and I'm going to be excited for him. And he's also an NBA prospect, in my opinion. Just as a 3 and D guy, a guy who could really come in and affect the game and get paid to impact winning at a high level. Another guy is Adriel Niora, who impressed me with his ability to get his team into offense under pressure. He didn't score the ball as well as he usually does here. He had some spurts. It was a pretty up and down tournament for him, but like there's skills that you could see translate to the highest level and translate into his college season. The way he's able to protect the ball, play under pressure, get paint touches consistently, finish through and over bigger defenders and even around sometimes. Just seeing his mid-range jump shot develop and his mechanics, his range is developing, and I think he's going to take a lot of steps this year in his development, and we're interested in seeing that. Also, another one of their teammates, Onyx Nani, who is a 6'9" utility guy, and he can guard multiple positions. He can shoot the ball. His shooting mechanics have gotten better. He could drive closeouts. He could play make. He could get downhill. He could get paint touches. You could run him at the one. He reminds me a lot of like a Boris Diaw, a guy who could just do it all, do what you need him to do, and he's a major factor when it comes to winning. I think two other bright spots were Matt Dan and Maxime, um, who is a French-born player. Maxime is plays for Brookwood Elite and goes to IMG Academy. Matt Dan just signed with Sam Houston, and just seeing how he's improved his awareness, his IQ. He is always athletic, but he's even more athletic now. So just there was a play where he rolled out. He did a short roll out of the pick and roll, caught it, help stepped up. He spun right off, instinct, and finished at the rim. And that's very rare to see from guys of his size. A lot of guys struggle making reads, quick reads in tight spaces. And at his size and his height, he was very nimble. He had a high Q, a high level of awareness, great motor, rebounds well, doesn't get discouraged when things don't go his way or he doesn't touch the ball. He plays hard, he defends the rim, he runs the floor, and I think he has so much potential at the next level. Given that he used to play hockey, and I think this is his third year of basketball. I think he switched over from like grade 9 or 10 to basketball, so he has a bright future. Maxime, who is also at IMG, forgive me for not knowing how to pronounce his last name, is also a great prospect. He's also 7 foot in change, I believe. Wiry frame, great motor, moves really well for his size. Plays, protects the rim. He could finish around the rim. He's going to dunk most things, and still has to develop a post game and being making more reads out of the pick and roll as a roller, and be a dynamic roller, roll big, roll hard, roll fast. Um, so I think there's a lot of room there. He's a 2026 kid. He has another year at IMG. He's only going to get bigger, stronger, and faster, especially being at IMG. And he has a bright future ahead, man. And especially against Team USA, the way we saw them compete as a team, and Jordan Charles and really competed at, and Efeosa and Tristan Beckford, and those guys really led in the games that matter. It's easy, again, like I said, to see guys compete against lower competition, but when you face teams like Germany, Team USA, and Australia, and you see the guys time and time again come through and prove themselves against high level future NBA talent, it says a lot, because those are the guys who are going to be future NBA players. So you have to consider their performance and see how it would translate at that level. So that was a great showing for Team Canada. There's a lot of prospects coming up through the ranks. The 26 to 27, 28, 29, 30 class is loaded. I tweeted that earlier in the week, and I'm interested to see how things continue to progress. And, we just want to thank you for tuning in for another episode of the Northway Basketball Podcast. And we are, if you don't know who we are, just subscribe on Instagram, on Apple and Spotify, Twitter. Follow us there, Instagram, Twitter, and we're gonna help college coaches find as many of the best pro prospects in Canadian pro prospects and how we find guys who are high character and can impact winning. So we thank you again for listening to another episode of the Northway Basketball Podcast. Looking forward to connecting with you. This is your host and head scout at the Northway, Keon Mears.